What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fear the Walking Dead review, Season 5, Episode 5, The End of Everything. Al chases a story with determination, no surprise there, but in doing so, she puts the entire mission and her life in danger. We're all here to talk about it. No click away.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
What's going on, Fear fans?
What's up? We are back.
We assume you're Fear fans because you are here for the Walking Dead After Show. If you are not, welcome to our channel and our show. We are very excited to have you all here. I am joined by a beautiful panel. Happy summer, guys.
Happy summer.
Happy summer.
Ooh.
I've got Krista Falengi.
Hey, guys.
And our applause, of course.
Yes.
April Wissenhand, hello.
Hey, everybody.
And we've got right down at the end, Benny Adams.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
I'm so happy to have a full panel tonight, guys, because I'm very excited to talk about this episode.
This is awesome.
Tonight, you guys, we're going right into Al, you guys. It was a very Althea, whatever you want to call her, very Althea-heavy episode. One of my favorite episodes, I think, of all time,
Really?
Probably The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead.
I knew you were gonna love this
I
one.
knew, I did. I know my panel knows me so well. What were your thoughts, you guys?
I liked it a lot. I loved that we found a little bit more about the group.
Mm-hmm.
Still want to know more, and I like learning more about Althea. I feel like she opened up so much this episode, which was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I really enjoyed that.
I'm really happy that we got kind of the big answer we've been looking for already without having to wait the entire season to figure it out, but also kind of like, we're not giving anything away about the movies and we're going to let this be done right here. I mean, clearly it's not going to be done, but I kind of like that we finally got something that's useful for us that we've all been craving for a long time.
Yeah,
I really liked it. I love Al as a character, and I love how Maggie Grace portrays her. She does such an amazing job, and I do like how you said, I really like how they answered some questions, but we're still left with questions. We're still curious about what's going to happen in the future. So I thought it was a really good episode.
Yeah, I completely agree. We got answers to some stories. We were left with open-ended questions. We got performance. We've got backstory. We've got dialogue. We've got a lesbian relationship.
Right.
I was into this episode.
Was awesome.
You guys.
That was amazing.
Not only are we going to get all in this episode, but we also have our special segments at the end of the episode, guys. Don't forget those. We've got our special segment for our favorite kill of the episode, plus our special segment of how not to survive a zombie apocalypse, which is always a lot of fun.
Yes.
We always like to crack on our characters and tell you guys what we wouldn't do to survive a zombie apocalypse. Let's dive right into the episode, you guys. So we pick up right where we left off, where we last saw Al, which I was happy about. I'm glad they didn't skip forward, and you know how they jump around with timelines. I'm glad they didn't do that.
Yeah.
So we jump right into it. Back to the night that she got abducted in the rain. She's getting carried away by this militia. What do we call them again? Militia men in black. I feel like we need to change that to gender neutral.
That's true.
Because
men
can be
militia people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Militia people. The militia. Let's just call them
We'll call
that.
the militia in black.
Short and
Yes.
sweet.
Okay, great. And we see one of the people that have abducted her, and she's putting the powder over the walker, and she's lighting them on fire. Did you guys think that was a little, and pun intended, an overkill?
A little bit, but
I mean, at first I did, and then I started thinking about all the stuff with the chemicals and what they were talking about with the radiation, and I was like, clearly she knows something that we don't, but also I'm like, at this point, you don't have very much, so why are you wasting this? But, that's always where my mind goes.
So you thought it was because of the radiation and not because they're trying to extinguish any evidence of walkers in general?
maybe a combination.
That's not what I thought at the time, but that's a great thought that you just put in my head right there. No, that's a really great thought.
Though. That I like that. That would make sense if what they're trying to do is
that's definitely
really
what I thought.
eradicate
That's for
them.
sure.
Okay, that's for sure.
I mean, I like both. A combination, we'll say.
Yeah, we've got April on the chat tonight, you guys. So let us know your thoughts.
Yes.
I want to know everybody's thoughts tonight. So she runs away. She gets away. Kind of an amateur move on the militia person's part to let her get away that fast. Mm-hmm. And it was pretty much a cat and mouse episode with the two of them, which we'll get into. But the first time she gets away, let's narrow it down. She runs into the woods. It's raining. She loses her boot. She's got one shoe on. She gets attacked by walkers, and then she gets rescued by this person. And now we're saying that it's gender neutral because the kick reveals that it's a woman.
Right.
Yes.
A very attractive woman.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Not that militia people cannot be attractive. I'm not saying that. I was just surprised.
We took notice.
Yes, I was just surprised that it was a woman in general.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad that we were all on the same page. She gets caught. obviously. Were we surprised that Al got caught that fast? Did you guys think that they were going to elongate that process?
I mean, I didn't. I was surprised that she, like you said, even got away in the first place.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we kind of, what we know of this group, maybe they seem like they're, you know, kind of the group that's never going to get caught, or that's basically never going to let anybody get away. So I was a little surprised she didn't at first. But I mean, it had to happen sooner rather than later. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been the episode that it was.
Yeah.
But Al showed out still.
Yes.
She did well.
Agreed. So we find the only reason that this woman is after her is because of the tape that she filmed, which surprised me because I mean, I guess the militia woman in black, as we know is Isabelle, or Happy, whatever you want to call her, didn't exactly know how much Al taped, but she didn't really tape that much.
No.
It was just a walker.
Yeah.
In a
and then-
uniform.
And
The
she
map.
got the stuff.
The symbol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was her big worry. I like calling her Happy rather than Isabelle. But that was Happy's big worry, because she's like, if someone is able to, it wasn't even like just a map, like a map of the world. She's like, if someone's able to decode this map, then they can figure out where we are, and that just can't happen.
Right. She didn't want anyone knowing like who they were, like where they are, nothing about them whatsoever. So even if it was something just that little, it had to have been destroyed.
Yeah. I don't know. I was like, you're going real hard for this. Like, real hard. I was like, okay, fine. So she catches Al. She puts her in the back of a car. She ties her up. How would you guys have gotten out of that car?
Not like that. I think I would have stayed in the car, but
Really?
I wouldn't have been able to get out.
that's true. But yeah, I don't know. It's just very Al of her.
See, what I was thinking was that maybe she could have broken a window and then took the glass and
Yeah.
then cut herself out. But then I realized that, you know, window and car glass just shatters. It doesn't really break like regular glass.
Right.
And then
So-
it attracts walkers, and then the walkers will start coming to you, and then
Well, I mean, that's pretty much what she did anyway. So
Which
I
how
guess
she did it worked.
yeah. What surprised me about it was when she attracted the walker, I was like, okay, well, how are we going to get out of this? And B, how are we going to defend ourselves? And she obviously proved what she did to us by having the walker come over with the barbed wire fence, which I thought was pretty clever, because I didn't even realize that was barbed wire, first of all.
Yeah.
And second of all, it made me realize Isabel's kind of, you know, considerate, because she put her in a car surrounded by barbed wire. So
Yeah.
she didn't just leave her to die
That's true.
in a car. She was like, oh, I'm going to protect you so that walkers don't,
Yeah.
you know,
Eat you alive.
eat you alive.
Yeah.
Exactly. So she was pretty genius in getting this walker to come over to her and getting the barbed wire and then cutting herself free. And she finds the helicopter. That's what she ultimately wants, because she wants to rescue her friends.
Right.
And having a helicopter doesn't hurt either. I mean,
It's just a nice perk.
I mean, whether my friends were lost or not, I still want a helicopter.
Yeah, exactly.
Just saying. And here's what frustrated me about this part, was that you're in the helicopter, you're making all this noise trying to start the helicopter, and then she gets caught again for a second time.
Yeah.
Would you guys have went up to the helicopter in general, or would you have tried to escape?
I would have tried to
Left,
escape.
yeah.
And then, because she had the walkie on her, and then try to get in touch with her friends, and then come with the group and try and get the helicopter, because then it's a bunch of them against one person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just seems like I get why she did it, because, you know, especially in the show where we're at right now, everybody's about doing what they can to help their friends and their group and all of these other people. But it just seems like she could have figured that out a little quicker. Ooh, there's no fuel in that. Let me go
Yeah.
and figure out what to do.
Let me
instead
get
of
out
just
of
kind
here.
of fiddling around a bit.
Yeah. Well, we find, like you said, April, the helicopter's out of fuel.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think that she could have figured that out a lot faster and then skedaddled out of there. Skedaddled, that's a word I haven't used in a while. But
that word.
Right? But she doesn't. She gets caught once again, obviously to build up this tension. And what I liked about this moment was that we find out about the people that she's working with. And these are pretty hardcore people. Like, we find out that she just killed her partner. KIA means killed in action, if anybody didn't know that. And I didn't have to look it up, everybody on my panel. Thank you.
You were just that smart.
I would have had to look it up.
Bravo.
I just knew what it meant. And then we find out that they're sending a reclamation team. Clearly, by the way that I pronounced it the first time, I had no idea what that was.
Yeah.
In my mind, I thought that meant like a team that comes in and just like destroys everything. Like, no matter, like, just the helicopter, her, the evidence of where she's been, like everything. They like nuke the area. That's the dramatized version in my head.
Yeah.
What did you guys think it was?
I thought it meant by her face that they were clearly coming to fix what she messed up, and that she probably wasn't gonna survive.
That's what I thought.
Because it's just, and Al called her out on it. She's like, "You looked more upset over hearing that your team was gonna come than you did when you heard this." I forget what she said exactly.
When her partner got killed.
Right.
Yeah.
But so you can tell that something very bad is going to happen from that. But I also, to me, it just didn't make sense because, I mean, clearly she had, they didn't know that she had met this person who had this tape and whatever. So I'm like, why is this so bad that you didn't make it back within this exact period of time that they wanted you to? Because it just seems like, when would that ever happen?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll be back Tuesday.
Yeah.
Well, in the apocalypse, chances are you're probably not going to be back on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
just
don't know.
thought that they were just sending someone to take her place because they didn't see that she was doing the job that she was supposed to do. And then she was going to go back to base, and then the person was going to continue what she was doing.
Yeah.
And we don't know what she was there to do.
No.
Obviously.
We don't know what her load was that she's bringing back with her.
Exactly. And because they're sending this reclamation team, I don't even know how to say it.
Reclamation.
Thank you, reclamation
Reclamation,
team. It kind of lights a fire under her because I felt like she was intense before, but this just like amped it up a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then her and Al have this standoff between each other because she really wants this tape. And Al is not, I love Al because of this scene, she was not giving up. She was like, you know what? I'm not telling you where the tape is unless you tell me your story. And if it's one thing that I love about characters is consistency. And if she hadn't have been consistent in this moment, I think I would have lost a little bit of respect for Al. How did you guys perceive that standoff moment between the two of them?
That's like exactly how I would have pictured her acting. And I feel like, the story is everything to Al, so she's not going to give up that tape without something in return that like also goes towards it. Because like we went over in this episode, her job is like so important to her. So
Right.
Yeah.
I think that at first I was kind of like, it's a tape. What are you doing? Don't die over a tape, because I just did not think that the woman was going to give it up. Like, I was like, oh, if she kills her, then, no one's ever going to find it. It's not going to be that big of a deal, but clearly it is a big deal to her. But I completely agree with you. I loved how Al stuck to what she wanted no matter what. And she made a good point. She's like, I mean, if you kill me, you get nothing. Like, I'm just dead, whatever.
Yeah.
And not a big deal. I'm probably going to be dead at some point soon anyway. I mean, she didn't say that, but I'm sure that's what she was thinking. But it's like, I do like that she stuck to her guns and that she just wasn't afraid. Because there are so many instances where every other character would be like, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
And she did it for her storyline on the whole entire show.
Yeah, and then see, this is why Al is just such a badass to me, because like you said, she stuck to her guns, and she knew. I think she knew what she was doing. I think she knew that she wasn't gonna get shot because they wanted that tape so bad.
Yeah,
there's no way that they were gonna kill her, because if they killed her, they wouldn't get the tape.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and that just proves how smart she is. Also,
Did anybody think that she was actually going to break her leg?
No.
Because it got a little close for me there when they had that last final like silence, and it was like, well, you can do it or not. And it was like that, and I thought she was actually
like
going
right
to
there.
do. Yeah, I thought she was gonna be like, well, boom, like because I was like, oh, these.
We don't know.
Just
Yeah.
to establish, because we don't. You're right.
don't
We don't
know
know
them.
these people,
Yeah.
and just to establish this dominance, just to establish, that we're not messing around.
Yeah.
I'm gonna break your leg, and then Al would have been screwed essentially, and that's what she says to her. Like, if you break my leg, I'm essentially dead.
Right.
So I just wanted to know your thoughts on that because I thought she was gonna do it.
Well, Benny, you made a great point in saying that it shows just how smart she is, because when I think about it, I think in another scenario, if Al actually thought somebody's going to kill me if I don't, do this, I think maybe if she really thought that they were going to kill her, that she might, or it's not going to be as necessary for her to get a story. She's going to be like, okay, moving on. I don't need your story if you're going to murder me. So I think she did kind of just read the situation, and she knew they need this more than I need this.
Yeah.
So she kind of, worked it right there.
Yeah, and I'm glad that they did, because then she kind of, I guess, acquiesces to the fact that, hey, she needs her, so you know what? You can help me come get the fuel for the helicopter.
Right.
And that leads us on this extensive journey between the two of them. I want to ask you guys at this point, and be completely honest, did we think that this was going to be a love story or a love interest by the end?
There was like points where I was like, oh, they're vibing. But I didn't, like, from the moment we saw them together, I wasn't like, oh, they're gonna, like, make out at the end of this. And yeah. But, like, there was, especially when they're, like, climbing up on the rocks. And
No,
they were,
not
like,
even that
helping-
point yet. At this point, in the beginning.
So that's when I first got those vibes, but not before.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got the vibes, but I was like, maybe I'm just picking up some like female empowerment type stuff. Like, these are two very strong female characters. I don't want to just go there.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, I'm like, wait, do we know if Al likes women? I couldn't remember.
I don't know why I thought that already.
I did too, but I don't think
it was made known.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
No.
It wasn't made known. I think, I don't think it was known.
So it just seemed really natural to me. I was like, this is how I picture. I just thought she was.
I mean, they
it
looked
worked.
great
Yeah.
together.
Yes,
did.
agreed. That's funny that you mentioned that, April, because they never really made it known that she was interested in women.
Okay.
And I always looked at Al as like one of those just people who would find anybody attractive. Like, it doesn't have to be a man, it doesn't have to be a woman, it's just whatever.
Yeah.
Like, if I find you attractive,
I
I'll
agree
just
with
be
that.
with you.
Yeah.
That's probably it.
And that's what I get from her. But I definitely got it from the beginning. I was like, as soon as she kicked off that helmet and it was a woman, I was like, something's gonna happen. I don't know if it was wishful thinking or something, but I was like, I'm about it. I'm about it. So then they have this long car ride together. But before we get into that, I'm gonna shoot it over to Benny for some quick words.
Yes, we here at AfterBuzz just want to thank you guys for making us the ESPN of TV talk. And in order for us to get even bigger and better, we need your help. So if you are on iTunes right now, go ahead and give us a 5-star. If you're on YouTube right now, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. Working at AfterBuzz means so much to us. You have no idea, you guys. And we just want to continue to learn and grow and give you guys amazing content.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to shoot over to April for a second for shout outs. But we do this show for you guys. I mean, we love you guys. We love interacting with you all, and which is why we love when you leave us some comments and tweet at us and stuff like that. April?
Yes, this has nothing to do with Fear the Walking Dead, but I love it. Victor Gordo, sorry about that. He says, do you think Rick is high ranking in the group, meaning in this helicopter group? I'm going to go ahead and say, of course, if he's healed, but there we go. And then Charmed Original also says, panel, do we think the C in CRM stands for Commonwealth?
Probably.
And I saw Benny's notes.
News and gossip.
So we are going to save that for some news and gossip. We don't want to spoil Benny's surprise, you guys.
I just got me so excited.
I got so excited.
I like this guy. He's on it.
Yeah.
He was on it like last week, I think, right?
But I don't think he's read Charmed Original. Let us know if you've read anything, because I think that you're just asking if we think that. But we'll get there.
Charmed Original, stay tuned because we are talking about that. We have talks about that, plans to talk about that. So stay tuned.
Yes.
So let's talk about this car ride. So once again, Al just sticking to characters, trying to fish information out of Happy. We'll call her that for now.
Love it.
Well, she doesn't tell her her name, so she is like, well, I'm gonna call you something. I'll call you Happy, which I think is pretty ironic.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't look very happy. And the woman asks her, and this is not the first time that we've got this question to Al, like, why does any of this matter? Like, Alicia asked her this, Morgan asked her this, a lot of people asked her this question, and I'm pretty sure, no. Was Madison around for Al? I can't even remember now. Did Madison and Al ever have a scene together, you guys?
Chat.
Oh, chat.
Let us know.
Let us know.
They either came in like right at the end,
at the
her,
yes.
or Al came in right after.
I think
There's
she
like
did
little
after.
or no.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Crossover,
I'm
yeah.
like getting back at my flashbacks now, and I don't think so at all. I think
No, they didn't.
Yeah.
She died in the
stadium.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
And
that
they
was
met
before
for
Al.
after.
Yes.
It was when they were doing the flashbacks.
Yes,
Yeah.
agreed. Yeah, okay, thank you for that. So a lot of people have asked her this question, why does any of this matter? And her answer has been pretty consistent. It's, when we're gone, all that's left of us is our stories. And the only reason I brought this up is because it played a big part in continuing their story, where there was this whole, I agree with you, but I disagree with you, but I agree with you, but there's more to that question. And we might have revisited this already, but when she answers this question for you all, what do you think of that? If you ask somebody, why does this matter? And they said, oh, because when I'm gone, all that's left is our stories. What would you think of that? Would you think that's stupid, or would you think that makes sense?
Not at all. Like, they're in this completely different world now where, like, everything that they know and love is pretty much gone. So these tapes that Al has, this is her one true thing that she loves like no other.
Yeah.
And this is something that kind of humanizes her in a way. And so I think that's why she's so adamant about keeping those tapes and recording people, because it gives her a purpose in this world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think about it in the sense of like, just in real life with history, if no one ever wrote anything down, then there's all this stuff that we wouldn't know. There's obviously all this stuff that we don't know already because no one wrote it down. So it's like there's the 98% of me that totally is like, absolutely, if you don't do this, or if someone doesn't do this, then how is anyone, you know, the hope is that there's always hope that you're eventually going to get out of this one day. So it's like, it serves its purpose, you know. Otherwise, how is anyone going to know what people went through? But there's the 2% part of me that's like, okay, but just don't like risk your life unnecessarily for it, because it is a camera that can get very easily damaged, and you know. Yeah. But 98% of me, absolutely, because I mean, you have to be able to know.
Yeah.
She's like taking on a heavy load to be the person that's writing history. So,
yeah. If she is the only one doing it,
which we don't know. Maybe there's another crazed journalist out there.
You're right. We've got a whole nother spinoff show. Maybe we'll need another one.
Really quick, Javier Quintanilla. Yes, they did meet, meaning Al and Madison. Al had a tape of Madison.
That's right. Thank you. That's what I see. I love our fans. I love our chat because you guys always keep us on our toes. Yes. That's right. They did meet, but before we even knew that they met,
we didn't know. She was already gone. We saw the tape.
She's like, by the way, who's your mom?
But I'm pretty sure if we had seen that scene, Madison would have asked the question, "Why does it matter?"
Absolutely.
I just get that vibe from Madison. Yes. So we encounter walkers. No surprise there while they're in the car, and Happy, we'll still calling her that, tells Al to stay in the car. She goes to handle the walkers. Al doesn't listen, and that was a running theme throughout the entire episode where she does not listen to this woman.
Right.
And we see this rock slide takes out the car, which surprised me because I was like, where did that rock slide come from? And then I realized, the walkers came down the hill, but maybe they lose. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm glad she didn't stay in the car because she could have died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she knew it too. She's like, see, I never stay in the car.
Yes.
I know, this isn't saving me.
And this is when we start getting a little bit more information from Al, is in that moment, because she says, I never stay in the car. She said, I don't stay in the car. That rule has kept me alive since before this has started. Or whatever.
Before people have been eating each other's faces off.
Exactly.
Or whatever it was. Yeah.
So that piqued my interest right there. I was like, so what do you mean? I was like, tell me more. Exactly. So she goes to get her bag because obviously she's very attached to this camera, like you said, April. And before they even get to that point, Happy had given her this jacket, which is not fashionable, let's be clear. It's not the most flattering jacket, but Al reluctantly puts it on. And while she's going for her bag, a walker attacks her and tries to bite her, and they can't get through this. I'm going to call it Kevlar, but I'm pretty sure it's not.
Yeah.
They've made bite-proof clothing.
Yes!
Like,
that's
it's impressive.
so cool.
Yeah.
As soon as as soon as the camera came up close to her jacket or to her clothes, I was like, ooh, I bet a walker can't bite through that.
Yeah.
You can just kind of tell because of the material.
Yeah.
But then it did whenever, Al has her arm there trying to get her bag and the walker comes up from the ground and bites it. I started to think, I was like, ooh, I bet people aren't as well trained because they have this that they know that's protecting them. Because I was like, I bet if Al didn't have that on, she would have moved her arm and she wasn't going to be getting bit by that walker.
Yeah.
So I thought that for a second, but I mean, I think they're fine. They have helicopters, so
Yeah.
they're taking care of themselves.
That's a good point, though. You think that the I'm going to call it Kevlar armor, I don't know what else to call it, makes them a little bit less trained.
I think it could. At first, I thought that. I was like, oh, I bet people aren't as like cautious as you are if you know if you get bit, it's going to bite you. But I mean, it's kind of a moot point because obviously they're doing fine.
They're doing fine.
Yeah.
And this is when we start getting more of Al's backstory. So we find the Bog number 7 tape, the woman finds it and then she wants to play it on the camera, and that's when we see Al talking about the National Guard and the Army and how they're shooting each other. Now, we didn't have to see this scene in order to be affected by it, you guys. I mean, it was pretty graphic without even having to see it. I mean, it's the National Guard and the Army and they're shooting each other. They're probably shooting each other because when this first started, nobody probably knew who was infected. Nobody probably knew who was a walker or who wasn't. And that right there, and I don't know why, but it was enough for me to be like, okay, I'm satisfied.
Yeah,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I obviously want to know more. I do want to still know how this started, but just that little piece of information, that little grain of sand was enough for me.
Absolutely. I mean, if you've watched The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead from the beginning, we see a lot of that. More so, definitely in The Walking Dead, you literally see, you know, armies bombing things and
Yeah.
people shooting at people that definitely shouldn't be shooting at people. But it was a great, amazing scene to shoot because, I mean, we see her face and then you just see light.
Yeah.
And that's like
Yeah.
kudos, obviously, to the staff
Yeah.
on this because
Yeah.
it was amazing. The fact that all of us kind of felt that before even knowing that this was like about her brother and
Yeah.
before I knew anyway that it was about her brother, it still just like hits you because obviously we see like how crazed everyone is.
Yeah.
Or was. Is.
Still are.
Yeah.
are. And like you said, we do get a little bit of her family background. We know that her brother was there and now he's dead. And we also find out that Isabelle, Happy, killed her partner, which we're going to revisit in a second. And she says another thing to Al. She says, if you see someone wearing this jacket, you should be afraid. We're living for the future. It was just very, in the beginning, it was just very ominous.
Yeah.
I'm like, these people are working towards something. It's a very, very high-level mission that they're on, but we don't know what it is.
Well, this is my question for y'all, and I wondered this the whole time, and I'm wondering it again. Like, obviously, they let certain people in, so it's like, why should she be afraid just because she sees them? Like, I mean, do they, unless they have, you know, like, I'm a member of the militiamen, whatever, the militia. I'm a member of this. And I go pick a person, and that's the only way someone gets in, and everyone else just dies if you see them.
Yeah.
Because she does say you're not allowed to see us.
Yeah.
You're never allowed to know that we exist.
I think a lot of it too, obviously, hopefully we learn more, but they're like so worried about people finding out because they don't want them to know where they are to like ruin things. Because we know in that world, people will like do anything for a helicopter or
Right.
some guns. So it's like, I don't know if it's necessarily not wanting to help people. It's like not being able to trust people because you don't know who's going to come at you for it. But then it's like, isn't there a lot of you and don't you have a lot of things?
Yeah.
Right. You know? So it's like,
Seems like what's
Yeah.
the big... I understand, like, you don't want anyone to know where you are. I've always said this throughout both shows. Like, where do people get in trouble? It's when they start telling people stuff or when they don't kill the right person. That's gotten them into trouble so many times when they've let someone go, even though, you know, fast forward, she lets her go. But I still think, like, it's like, so does that mean they're just going around killing everyone that happens to see them? I guess so.
Which is really unfair because they have a helicopter. People are going to see a helicopter flying around.
Right.
I agree with what they're doing. Because if you think about it, like you said, in the Walking Dead universe, every time someone has found out about a community, it's been destroyed.
Yeah.
And so what they're doing, whatever they're trying to do, it has to be so important where they don't want to take any chances whatsoever.
Yeah.
And they must be pretty far in doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I get why they're doing that.
Or they just, like, figured out the best excuse ever to not make people go after them.
True.
I mean, I don't think so. But, like, I'm going, like, full on Eugene over here right now. But no.
Well, I want to talk about this rock climbing scene because Krista, this is when you said you kind of
This is when I
started
got
getting
vibes. Yeah.
And it was. I mean, it was pretty blatantly obvious. I mean, it was this whole Titanic, you fall, I fall,
Right.
you jump, I jump kind of thing. It was like, if you're a bird, I'm a bird. It was very like,
Yes.
like Notebook, Titanic. It was giving me vibes, you guys. And they have to get up this rock face in order to get to the field for the helicopter, which is at the helipad. And there's obviously this rock climber walker, which I thought was genius.
I did too.
Because I was like, I think that's kind of cool just to add that other dimension to it. And Happy falls, and she gets caught by the rope. Obviously, it's rock climbing. My thoughts to you are, A, that probably hurts because it's like right there on your crotch.
Right.
And B, was anybody surprised that Al did this whole matrix, like killing the walker and jumping for the latch and like essentially saving them both?
she's got moves, man. Yeah.
This is why she's such a badass. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
said before, like this is the type of person that she is, and if she says she's gonna do something, you know that she's gonna do it. So
Yeah.
she's also, not only is she like just so cool, but she's also a very trustworthy person.
Yeah.
I liked this so much because we've definitely seen the hardcore part of Al. You know, she has the huge truck with the guns and whatever, but we haven't seen this more like physical side, I guess. So I liked the fact that you see the fear in her face.
Yeah.
But she's doing it in order to save this person that she doesn't even know. It just like builds her character even more as a character that we all love, obviously.
Speaking of saving a person that she doesn't even know, we get a little bit more backstory of Happy and why she killed her partner. They were looking for water supply or supplies to purify water, and they found the radiation walkers, once again just circling back to what Alicia and everybody else was going through. And she had to literally kill her partner because he was exposed to radiation, and he obviously didn't want to die because who does? And she had to kill him because, like you said earlier, April, he had maps and he was a risk to the mission in general. And then we find out that not only did she have to kill her partner, but she also has to kill Al at the end of this. And Al's the one who picks up on it because she asks her, does she have to kill her for the operational security? And she says, yeah, I do.
Because that's what she said. The walker who was hanging was her friend, and that's technically who she let go.
Yeah.
And that was one of her mistakes or whatever. When she's talking about her partner and the walker that was the rock climbing walker, I like to call him, I mean, it goes back to everything that we've been saying. It makes sense if what they're doing is actually this important and whatever. But it's also like, dang, can't you just trust a girl? But no, actually, you probably shouldn't. I mean, like we said, I keep going back and forth on everything that I say myself because it's like, no, you probably shouldn't. I mean, if it's that important, if it's gonna like save the world, then save the world.
Yeah. Well, Al gets the jump on her this time. She's caught her twice, and Al's like, no, this isn't gonna happen again.
No.
So Al catches her off guard, catches her gun, and is ready to leave her there because she's like, well, I've got the rock climbing gear, I've got the gun, I can just leave you here. And she tells her, if your friends and you are near that helicopter, it's not going to be good for you guys.
Right.
So that once again just led me to believe the reclamation team is just them going to like once again nuke the area or just take down any kind of threat, and that's what essentially I thought.
Yeah.
And then we go into this intimate, campfire scene, and April, you hinted about, seeing Al do something physical is out of the norm. Well, this is again something else that's out of the norm because we've never seen Al in this intimate setting before because they don't really get many chances to be in intimate settings. And, they're sharing a beer. She tells you, if you're destroying the tape because someone figures out the maps and all that stuff, it's just if any of this gets out, it'll all be for nothing. They have all died for nothing. And she tells her, I would much rather have met you before all of this or after.
I liked that.
I liked that too because clearly she believes in what her group is doing and she believes that they will succeed. What did you think of this moment?
I mean, I loved it because it was, if you weren't getting the vibes already, you're definitely getting them now. So that is where my mind was.
Yeah.
But honestly, the thing that I liked the most about the scene is that Happy / Isabella was actually able to talk Al into giving up the tape.
Yes.
Because I never in a million years thought that would happen. If as much as we love her, she's also very stubborn and doesn't listen sometimes. So I was just surprised that she actually did it, but I was happy that she did it because, no pun intended, because it's another thing. It's one of those good character moving moments, and the fact, this is later obviously, but she doesn't actually say anything to anyone. That was my favorite part of it.
Yeah. No, I mean, her giving her the tape was essentially saying, I trust you enough. And her letting her go, because we get to this really tense standoff scene where, Isabelle's going to shoot Al in the back of the head. And she says, no one can ever know anything. No one can even see this. So that's why she has to kill her. And she tells Al, I want you to live. Don't try to find me. I hope you get back to your friends. My name is Isabelle from Indiana. So she starts giving her story. I literally cried, by the way. I was crying on my couch at this moment. And she says, and I got to see the prettiest thing I've ever seen since the end of everything.
I did love
that.
that.
Was amazing.
I'm tearing up as we talk about it because,
amazing.
We don't get these moments very often. We got John and June. We had their moments. And then we've got this moment. And we all are attached to Al. We all love Al as a character. And it was just one of those moments in Walking Dead history universe that just sticks with you. And this was just one for me. And then they kiss and it's like...
And it's so fleeting too, because now she's
Thank
gone
you.
and she's all, don't find me. And you're like, wait, what? No.
Yes. I think that's what I loved about it, is that it's a fleeting moment, and that's why it means so much to her and us as the viewers, because are we going to see Isabelle again? Are they ever going to be reunited? I mean, who knows?
Right.
You know, it's not like a John and June love story where they were, oh, she's gone. Oh, now they're reunited in like 2 episodes later.
That doesn't happen with everyone.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to see this woman again.
I know.
Well, I think they're doing a good job of giving us a snippet of keeping us excited about, oh, this is where this could go, and here are these movies eventually. But it was such an amazing moment. And then to end it off with, you know, hearing her be like, Morgan?
Yes.
Alicia? Because obviously we heard her do that last week, right?
Yeah.
Or in the preview anyway. So it was good to have it kind of like tied back up, and good that she didn't actually like run after her or anything like that.
No, I completely agree with you. And I do love how they tied it all together with the helicopter taking off. And that's what we saw Alicia and Morgan and everybody else see with the group of children. And then we see them reunited with Al. And then she tells them, she doesn't tell them.
She lies.
She lies for Isabelle.
Yeah.
And I think that she did it to protect her group because she realizes these people mean business.
Yeah.
And let's not mess with them.
They're gonna, if she tells Morgan, if she tells Alicia,
They're
gonna want to go
Alicia
after
for
her.
sure
No matter
is
what.
gonna
Yes,
wanna,
like a dog with a bone. They will
Yeah.
not let it go.
And Al knows that, so like she definitely, obviously, could never have said anything.
Yes. What I loved is that they have the children with them as well.
Al was like, when did you get 12 kids?
Well, so, I mean, they got out of that
More new
standoff
people.
situation.
She's like, more
It's like,
people.
whoa, it's like the Brady Bunch up in here. And then Al tells them her last name, which I thought was touching.
Yeah.
Again, just little moments in
Al
this, in this
2.0 is
history.
here, I think.
really
What
like
was her last name?
Oh.
yeah.
She's got
you trying to pronounce it.
Nope, I'm not doing it because if there are any Polish people watching, I do not want to offend anybody. But she has 2 Polish last names because she had 2 Polish parents, and I don't want to say
Someone
it.
said it in chat earlier.
Oh, I can't say it.
Sweski Pergoki. Hey, my last name's Wissenhand, so I can attempt these things without Sweski Pergoki. I don't know.
See, I wasn't even going to try, you guys.
There you go.
So I thought, like I said, overall, it was one of the
was.
one of the best episodes in the Walking Dead history. Dead history, I loved it. We want to know your thoughts. Does anybody else have any last thoughts on the episode before we move on to special segments?
It's a great episode.
No, it really was. I really enjoyed it. Alrighty, guys, let's move on to our special segments. We're gonna do our favorite kill first. Our favorite kill segment. Thank you, Jonathan, for our wonderful engineer for our sound effect. Give me some favorite kills, you guys.
Mine was when Al was trying to escape in the car, and she came up with this clever idea of getting the walker to come down, and he has like the barbed wire, and then she kills him right then and there to get the barbed wire. Because not only was that like an epic kill, but it was a smart kill.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She did a lot of smart
I wouldn't have
killing
done that.
tonight.
She did.
Yeah.
My favorite was the rock climbing guy. Another smart kill,
Yeah.
and just because of like what it meant.
Yes.
I like that one too.
I'd have to agree with Benny. The car one was one of my favorites, probably just because, it took like brains too. It wasn't just you stabbing
Right.
someone. You had to like brainstorm and work on your feet.
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with April on this one. I think the rock climbing one was my favorite just because of what it established.
Yeah.
And we got to see, like you said, April, Al in a different kind of setting, not just rock climbing, but like killing
Thinking
a
of a
walker and
hobby.
thinking on our feet. And like, I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are our favorite kills. You guys let us know what your favorite kills are. We're going to move on to our next special segment, how not to survive a zombie apocalypse. Now guys, this is going to be hard for me because there were some mistakes made in this episode, in my opinion,
Yeah.
but not any to be like, really though.
I know.
So I want to know if there are any moments in this episode where you guys can point out on how
So,
not to survive a
Her
zombie
like
apocalypse.
trying to get the camera, and if she didn't have the protective gear on, because
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
time
That's a
she
good
didn't
point.
know it was protective.
Yes.
Because she was shocked. She was like, "Oh, I'm good." Yeah. So it's like,
Okay.
but yeah, I know the story is everything to her, but also if you would have died right then and there, who would have passed on you know what I mean? So
Yes.
you got to stay alive for them to pass on too.
That's a good point. That's a
Yeah.
good one.
True.
Mine was if you have the opportunity to escape
Yeah.
from being kidnapped,
Yeah.
don't go straight to the helicopter.
Yeah.
Go and find your friends.
Yeah.
And then come back with your friends.
Yeah.
So it's like whatever, like 10 against 1, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I just don't know. Tim, you go first.
I know. I was literally going to think while you were thinking. I'm like, what? Because I love the episode so much. I don't want to like nitpick it. But you two had great ones. I don't know how not to survive a zombie apocalypse. I would say don't lose your boot when you're running away.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Because I mean,
shoes.
you need shoes in the zombie apocalypse. So I mean, I know it was kind of unavoidable, but like, get better fitting shoes, Al. Come on.
This isn't necessarily how not to survive, but it's just about the walker that she hid the tape in. I was like, well, that's dumb. Because what if he got pulled into the water and it just would have been destroyed?
That's a good point, and I'm glad that you brought that up because we didn't touch on that, and I wanted to ask you that because she says that she hid that tape on the walker because she wanted it to be found if, in fact, she was killed by Isabelle. How?
If there were a million other walkers around, that would be the last one that I would look at because it's in the water. So I would be like, surely a tape isn't going to survive in that.
And why would you want to go to the walker anyway and risk getting bit?
Bury it under a tree, like not on a walker.
Yeah, I don't
so
I think that was her only. I think it just because like burying it, no one's gonna find it. So she's like, this also seems like a far off thing that someone's gonna go take the tape from the zombie. But
I mean, people do. But whenever they rummage through,
it's totally possible. So. Give it to her.
We'll let you slide out. That's a good one though, April. Good point. Alrighty, guys, those are how not to survive zombie apocalypse moments. Let us know yours. We're going to move right along to news and gossip.
News and gossip.
I'm going to shoot it over to Benny because he's our news and gossip guy. We love it.
Man. All right, so we have two really cool stories that I want to tell you guys about. I'm going to save the best one for last. I first want to talk about, so when we have a mid-season finale, the wait can be so long like no other, and it can be really annoying because you're just waiting forever and ever for it to come back on. This time, when we have the last episode, which will be episode 8, before the winter finale comes on, it's going to be a shorter hiatus.
Oh, good.
And it's the shortest, I think they were saying, in Walking Dead history.
Oh, wow.
Where it's only going to be a little longer than a month.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Because
like normal TV.
Did they want to time it so it ends right before The Walking Dead starts?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. So that
works out.
That was
That's
good
amazing.
news for me.
Which makes sense because Fear the Walking Dead has been getting some amazing views on it, and rightfully so. The writers have been killing it, and so have the actors. Everybody involved in the show have been killing it. So to kind of end it right before The Walking Dead starts up, it's smart, and it doesn't let us, it doesn't build up frustration with the viewers of, oh, now we have to wait this long for, not like Game of Thrones. Sorry, don't mean to throw Game of Thrones under the bus, but they do it all the time. And so it's nice. That's actually a really good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this one I'm actually really excited about. It's not confirmed. It's just a rumor. A lot of people have been talking about it online, and they're saying that these mysterious people from the helicopter, that they could be from the Commonwealth. And they made a really interesting observation. The uniforms they wear are exactly like the ones in the comics, except a different color. The ones in the comics, I think, are white.
Yeah.
While what they're wearing is black.
Interesting.
So, and they kind of, they're doing the same thing that these people are doing, trying to build something new.
I mean, we've established that the shows Fear the Walking Dead universe in general, it isn't sticking to the comics page by page, which is nice because they do want to keep the viewers who have read the comics on their toes. But Fear the Walking Dead hasn't really done much with the comics, so it'll be interesting if they actually do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm excited. I mean, we shall see. Like you said, we don't know. Which brings us into, is that all news and gossip?
Yeah, that's it.
Perfect. That's going to bring us into predictions because we shall see what our predictions are for this episode. What do you guys think of predictions?
I think we're gonna see Isabelle again. In Fear.
Okay.
We better.
Not in the movies.
Well, probably that too. But I hope we get to see her again, and I think we might.
I like that.
Yeah.
I definitely. I know it's just a rumor, but I'm like, clearly the group is the same group that picked Rick up.
Yes.
Like, it is, without a doubt. So, it's funny that everyone keeps talking about, like, oh, it's a rumor, it's this. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure, like, it is at this point. But I think that we'll see Isabelle again because I think that that's what they're going to do to keep the movies fresh in our mind.
Yeah.
Is to give us a snippet every now and then, because if we haven't seen Rick Grimes or heard of anything or whatever in multiple years, then people aren't going to be as into it, and it's not going to be as huge of a thing if it's like, oh, we got a glimpse of him here, glimpse of him here in both shows, and then it's still going to be like a mega phenomenon.
That's a good point, though, April. We also don't know, because you know how the Walking Dead universe in general plays with these timelines. We know in the Walking Dead they had this like 7-8 year time jump.
Yeah.
In Fear the Walking Dead, we don't exactly know if this group already has Rick, if this is years off. We don't know anything about this group.
Charmed Original says The Walking Dead is 9 years and 7 months into the apocalypse, and in Fear the Walking Dead, it's only 2 years and 7 months. In.
See, so they
we got a lot of time.
Well,
yeah, wait, a lot of time. So this group could have just started, but we do know that if it's around 2 years in Fear the Walking Dead, and in Fear the Walking Dead, and if The Walking Dead, they're 7 years ahead of them, we do know that this group has had all of this time to...
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, that just messed up my prediction. I think that I feel like we're gonna get more clues when it comes to Rick.
Yeah.
I think the mid-season finale, some way, shape, or form. I don't think we're gonna physically see Rick.
Yeah.
But we are gonna get some type of mention.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that prediction. Those are great predictions, you guys. It could definitely continue the discussion, but unfortunately we have to wrap up, you guys. So let us know your predictions. It is just heating up here. Clearly, it's only season 5, episode 5 on The Walking Dead, or Fear the Walking Dead, sorry, excuse me. And we will be back next Monday at 8 p.m. to talk about episode 6. It was lovely seeing you all. Where can everybody find you guys?
Hey guys, you can find me all over social media at Krista Flengy.
And y'all can find me everywhere at April Wissenhant.
And you guys can find me on all social media at Benny J. Adams.
And I am Timothy Michael. You can find me everywhere at I am Timothy Mike. We will see you guys same time next week.
Bye.
See you guys later.
Bye,
Our
guys.
founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.